Can you hear that?
Well, I heard it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you stopped talking.
Dog's upset.
Yeah, dog's annoyed. Well, he won't stop pissing on people.
Yeah, he's gross.
Yeah.
Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and it's a special day because this is the finale of Spooky Penis Month. Or Freaky Phallus Friday, right? Ryan?
Yeah, but... well, I don't know if I want to adopt the Freaky Phallus Friday thing.
All right, let's strike it from the record.
Yeah.
Spooky Penis Month.
Yeah, I mean, I probably prefer that. It's better.
It's classic.
Yes,
It works.
yeah. For only the second time that we've done it, yet it would be referred to as classic at this point.
It's canon.
It's, whatever.
Not only are we joined by my co-host Ryan, we also have Josh Martin returning to get right back into the meat.
Can't get rid of him, eh?
You keep asking me back, and I just happen to have nothing going on in my life.
That's very true, yeah. No, I will point that out. We do ask you to come back because you're funny.
Oh, I thought you were going to reinforce, yes, you are very boring, and we understand that you have no reason to not do it.
Look, if you bring the jokes, it's fine. That's the only stipulation I have for guests.
That's fine.
Is that
I think I'm funny.
Yeah, no, I think you're funny
Yes,
as
you
well.
do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes. We all think we're funny.
I know I am. So we are all here. We're joined for the end of Spooky Penis Month to continue on in the RE-ANIMATOR series, which we had to skip one, obviously.
Because it was all about the women.
Yeah, it was ladies' time, and
Yeah, it was
now...
all about spooky tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, spooky boobies.
Spooky boobies.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Boobies.
I hate it.
We're here for the 2003 horror comedy Beyond RE-ANIMATOR.
Is it funny?
I said comedy.
Oh, okay.
It is.
All right.
Oh no, this movie is funny. Starring
Funny looking.
Jeffrey Combs again, of course, reprising his role. Jason Barry as Dr. Howard Phillips. If you guys remember, if he looked familiar, it's because he was Leonardo DiCaprio's friend from Titanic. Do you remember him?
No.
They got the ticket. They got the ticket for the Titanic, and they were going to go, and then he drowned because they were poor.
Right.
From Titanic.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Well,
That didn't fly like I thought it would.
No, I didn't.
very
I mean,
exciting.
Man, his career really took off in the 7 years
Yeah.
between Titanic and Beyond RE-ANIMATOR.
He's Irish.
yeah. Well, I mean, the only Titanic movie I remember is it's a night to remember. It's in the title. You're meant to remember it. Titanic's just kind of fodder.
That's true.
What?
Titanic is just fodder, yeah.
Explain that to 13-year-old Laura, who had at least 3, if not 4, Titanic posters on her wall.
Well, you just bought into the hype. That's the thing. Like, Titanic's one of those.
I bought into the Leo.
It's just like here's
At that age, he would have bought into you, too.
Oh, yay!
Not
That's
anymore.
true, yeah. No, not anymore.
Oh, I'm too
No.
You were way
Too
past the
old.
expiration
Yeah.
date.
Don't say way. Don't say way
Way
past.
past.
At least 10
10
years.
years.
now. Yeah, at least a decade.
Shit.
He will not have anything to do with you.
That makes me really sad.
You're not young enough.
I don't know if I'm into
And
it
by
anymore.
young, I mean 25. Yeah. There's nothing funny going on there. No, I mean, I think, like, Titanic is the cinematic representation of gruel.
Gruel?
Gruel, yeah.
Like like
Like
porridge?
the fucking porridge shit. Yeah,
Like
they
prison
have in all
porridge.
over. Yeah, it's like, here you go, consume this, you fucking ape. It's like,
Well,
here it is.
It's really good that you brought up prison because this movie is set in prison.
Oh,
I didn't
my
even
God,
finish saying
I
who
can't
else is in the
believe
movie.
I did that.
Elsa Pataki is in this movie, and her name is Laura. Her character's name is Laura, which I love because that's my name. And there's not enough Lauras in the movies, but every time I hear a Laura, I get very excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of screaming of Laura in this movie.
Well, because the doctor is constantly screaming at
Yeah, he won't-
nurses or anyone that's around him
Yeah.
and Laura. Yeah, but do you know who? I didn't realize who she was until I started doing the research for this movie, but she's married to Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, okay.
Did you know
Really?
that?
No, I didn't
That
know
is
that.
Chris Hemsworth's wife. Chris Hemsworth is her husband.
Right.
Huh. I wouldn't expect that he'd have an age-appropriate wife.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I think he seems like a solid man. He seems...
Sure, but
Okay.
No,
He
you never
definitely,
know.
I mean, he definitely looks like a stiff breeze wouldn't blow him over. That's for sure.
That sounded like it was meant to be sexier than it was.
No, he looks like he looks
stiff.
He looks pretty stiff. Yeah, he looks pretty.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's built.
She was also in 4 Fast and Furious movies, you guys. She played one of the agents, and she had sex with Vin Diesel and had Vin Diesel's baby in those movies.
huh.
She played Yelena.
Okay,
Elena?
I know, I can see that now. Okay.
Yeah, it all
I
just
can-
kind of...
I can piece that together. She's pretty generic looking.
Yeah. She shows up in Fast 5, right?
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Huh.
When
In
the
Brazil.
series, when the series started to
okay.
get interesting.
Even more amazing than it already was. And she's dubbed in this movie, is she not? She's like dubbed weird.
She's definitely been.
She's a Spanish actress.
Yeah,
They
she
filmed
has.
this
She has
in
an
Spain.
accent.
Yeah, this is also filmed in Spain. That's the only reason it got produced.
Yeah, it was
as far
like
as I know, right?
internationally co-produced with Spain.
Yeah,
But yeah, she...
And if you weren't aware of that, like you just look at the credits list and it's basically
Sure.
it's all Spanish names, all Spanish crew.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, no, well,
Spanish prison?
she's overdubbed. Would we say well? At least it looks like it's in sync. But I mean, she's overdubbed with a terrible American voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful.
Did you not agree, Josh?
I
Did you not notice it?
Things
I'm thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's not something that I found distracting, though. I didn't notice it while watching it.
Because I don't think it's her acting that's weird. I just think it's the voice.
She's also kind of surrounded by people who are incredibly wooden. Other than Jeffrey Combs,
Who
but
is a national treasure.
who's
Yes.
who's effectively doing what he's good at, which is eating up everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's no... I mean, it's all standout performances because they're all not very good.
Yes.
Like,
Except for the warden.
Yes.
the warden is great.
He's nice and animated. Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Aye. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can't see the wood from the trees in this movie. Like it's all relatively quite. Yeah.
We'll get into
Yeah.
the quality of this film in a minute, I imagine. I'll let Laura finish here, but I have some things to say.
Yeah.
That is true. I actually need to get Ryan to jump on that Brian Yuzna.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yuzna? I'm going to assume it. Well, he was born in, is it Manila? It's like in the Philippines. That's where he's from.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Yuzna.
You see, I always pronounced it Yuzna, but I could definitely be wrong, because I
Yeah.
usually am.
There's a
He follows me on
Yeah.
Instagram, though, which
No,
I love.
he does not.
He does. He liked something that I posted praising society or something once.
Oh,
wow.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
Nothing
they were
but
so
big celebrities.
connected.
Him and Diana Prince and Pat Healy.
That's
Those are my
beautiful.
celebrity follows.
That's not too bad. Well, it's better
I
than
follow
mine.
Pat on
Yeah.
Letterboxd.
He follows me back though,
Yes, no, I'm
Yeah.
just a...
because
Yeah.
a pretty an okay friend directed him in Pale Door, and so there's a connection there.
Wow.
There you go.
Celeb.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, the only one I've
Look at him
had,
go.
the only one I had on Instagram, and I'm not particularly proud of it, is Paul Haggis.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just photos of him like in coffee shops, like writing things.
I actually just saw the director's cut of Crash at the pawn shop for $3, and I didn't buy it.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie I wouldn't want to see more of.
No,
Yeah,
I maybe fixed it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being cynical.
yeah,
Gotta go back.
Maybe
Less-
it's not shallow anymore.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's not the deepest of movies.
Tell me about Brian.
Brian.
Because
Okay.
we haven't done Brian.
No, we've not done a Brian yet. We've not done the Brian, the
About to
Yuzna.
do this Brian.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think, or at least I'm not too sure, I don't think there's any more after this one for Yuzna.
Okay.
And I've not seen all of his stuff. Obviously, the most notable, I think, of his films is Society. But let's carry on. So Brian Yuzna is the producer and a director and a writer. And let's just say he's best known for producing the work of Stuart Gordon. And obviously a lot of those movies are adaptations of H.P. Lovecraft stories. So I have here, he's best known for science fiction and horror movies, and obviously, as well as producing Stuart Gordon's stuff, he's also kind of produced the films for Christopher Gans and Louis de la Madrid as well. And also here I have down that he was the co-writer, and I'm sure we said this on the Fortress episode, but he's the co-writer for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids as well. Which I'm sure we brought up when we did Fortress back in the time.
I love Fortress. I love Rick Moranis.
One of the more notable things here, and this is maybe a little bit nerdy, but he is the first American filmmaker who penned the first adaptation of a manga into a live-action movie.
Oh.
What was the...
The manga was called Bio Booster Armor Guyver. The Guyver movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he wrote those or adapted those.
Well,
That's interesting.
He produced them.
Oh, he produced them.
He produced them. So he was the person who brought
makes sense.
the first manga adaptation to a live action stage. And I think the Guyver, at least the first one, I think the first one's pretty good. And obviously that one's helmed by Screaming Mad George, the special effects guy, and obviously another guy called Steve Wang, who directed that.
I feel like Stuart Gordon kind of, I mean, rightfully so, overshadowed a lot of his work, but some of his directorial efforts, I think, are really solid. I like The Dentist a lot, and I think that Return of the Living Dead 3 is, I think, might be the best entry in that series. I know the first one, everyone loves it, and it's great. But the third one, weaponizing zombies, but still being a comedy, like the military weaponizing zombies, I think it's really funny. I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah. He's been a really prolific force. He's still making films now to this day. And obviously Stuart Gordon passed away back in 2020, I think it was.
I think that's right.
So no, he's fairly prolific, still making things. And I mean, in terms of like his filmography, and obviously I'm discounting the produced stuff because that list is quite endless. And a lot of those films we've kind of already pointed out before when we've covered Stuart Gordon. But yeah, in terms of his directorial stuff, we have obviously Society, which is his debut, technically, in 1989. Wow. After that, he does the sequel to obviously Re-Animator, which is Bride of Re-Animator, which was in 1990. Then it's Silent Night, Deadly Night the same year. Return of the Living Dead 3 in 93.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes.
Was it 3 or 4?
It's probably 4.
I think it was 4, the one with Clint Howard.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's really good. It has nothing to do with Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't write the numbers down on the sequels, because obviously he didn't do the original. Obviously Night of the Living Dead 3, which was in 93. The Dentist, that was 96, and obviously the sequel in 98. And then we have, is that Protege? See, I've written it down, and it literally looks like I've just written down Poogie. So yeah, I've no idea what that film is. It came out in 98.
Love that you can't read your own handwriting.
Well, it is literally like I've written something and then I've written on top of it 2 other times to try and correct it, and now I can't read it.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where he wakes up in the middle of the night and writes a really funny joke, the funniest joke he's ever written.
Prodigy?
And then he wakes up
Progeny. There we go. See, I can see it now.
Hold on, I'm telling a Seinfeld joke. And then he wakes up and he can't read his own joke. That's you. Yeah,
the pig man cometh. Anyway, in 2000 he makes Faust, which is it's another adaptation of the classic story, which I quite like that film. I quite like that version. And then we get to Beyond Re-Animator in 2003. He's working on stuff all the way up to 2013, but the list is
He's
super
actually
long.
has a film in development right now, bringing back Corbin Burnson from The Dentist as the plastic surgeon.
No!
Nice.
It's been in development for a very long time. Who knows if
Yeah.
it'll ever happen? I hope it does.
That sounds great.
The Dentist movies fucking rule.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on the Wikipedia where he's obviously had things in development that have just not come to fruition, or they've come to fruition in a different form or another.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's still around. He's still working.
He and Gordon wanted to have a fourth Reanimator for a very long time. They even brought William H. Macy on board. Because Gordon had worked with him and with Edmund.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And I think he had probably worked with him in theater as well, in the same way that he worked with Jeffrey Combs. I could be wrong about that. There was the whole Stuart Gordon, David Mamet world, sphere of that, and with the actors related.
Well, we watched Edmund quite recently.
Yes.
That's a joyful movie.
That movie is yes.
I
That'll
think
put
movie's
hair on your chest. That movie.
pretty great.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's
I don't know how
Julia Stiles is memorable.
Yes.
Oh my god. The Dentist is something that's been on my watch list on my Letterboxd for ages, and it just popped up on Tubi.
Oh, did it? Because I
Recently.
just bought the DVD because it's been out of print for ages.
Yeah, it's
and
one
I
of
finally
those.
found it kind of cheap and ordered it.
It's one of those classic ones that I remember specifically walking through Blockbuster or walking through Hollywood Video and seeing that cover. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I need this.
That
I have to
Dr.
watch this.
Giggles was another one that had a cover like that.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I remember those horrible dentist movies. I really want to watch it again.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've seen it or not. I genuinely can't remember.
I almost put it on last night, and then we watched that horrible documentary.
I've got a funny feeling tonight we're either going to watch Society, and you get to see it for the first time, or we can watch The Dentist. I've probably seen The Dentist, though. But Society is very much well worth watching. But I think, I mean, I would agree with Josh in that I think Yuzna does get overshadowed a little bit by Stuart Gordon, just because a lot of the focus ends up on the director a little bit. But I like to kind of see them more as a double act, where one will make a movie and the other one's kind of making a movie, and then they'll help each other out to kind of meet in the middle as well.
Nice.
Right.
Because obviously they're writing together as well. So I don't like to see it as like it's a competitive nature to it, because neither one of them makes, at least in my opinion, neither one of them makes bad films, or they've not made bad films. They're what they are. I mean, you could say that Beyond Re-Animator isn't a great movie, but it's still pretty entertaining, and there's some really interesting shit in it that I think it definitely it shines a little bit more than, say, other horror movies of the time, or even horror movies now.
He's very good with working with his special effects artists by keeping. Because by the time 1990 with Bride of Re-Animator, it makes sense that it was still practical, because digital effects just weren't really there for low budget movies. But by 2003, he could have cheated a lot of that, and he didn't.
No,
That's what makes it look so good.
there's some really clever stuff in Beyond. And it's nice and goopy, and it's gooey, and it's really violent, and it's kind of comedic. There's some stuff in it that I quite appreciate, even if a lot of the framework of the movie is a bit stale, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we get into the stale, I want to give the synopsis of the movie that I grabbed from Letterboxd.
Good.
Because I haven't done that yet. And I'm sure everyone listened to Re-Animator, so you kind of know what we're dealing with. But here we are.
The Chronicles of Herbert West.
Once again tampering with Mother Nature to disastrous results, Dr. Herbert West continues his research while serving time in a maximum security prison for his previous exploits. West's limited prison cell experiments are suddenly interrupted by the arrival of a new prison doctor and the brother of the girl who suffered from West's experiments 13 years earlier. So, and just before we move on, the tagline is, "They thought prison would be the death of him, but for Dr. West, death is only the beginning."
Yeah.
Which is the same as in The Mummy Ride,
Oh, okay.
by the way.
I mean, that's a line from the movie, anyway.
It's a
In The
classic
Mummy,
line,
from
death is
The
only
Mummy,
the beginning.
Death is only the beginning. So.
The Mummy. I wish there was a penis in that movie.
It's fine the way it is. Not everything has to have a cock in it.
So, for that synopsis, I think that's fairly straightforward. I mean, the movie basically opens with, it looks like a babysitting situation where you got a hot babysitter, classic, and for whatever reason, this man just shows up with like half his face gone and a lot of tongue.
He's missing his jaw.
Missing his jaw, a lot of tongue work.
Yeah, the tongue, the animatronic tongue. It's good, yeah.
It's pretty good.
I thought that shit was cool.
It is cool.
It's very cool.
It's cool.
You were talking about the kind of...
I love the bit where he just takes the milk and he like tries to drink the milk. And it's
he has
just
no lower jaw, so
it doesn't
doesn't
lower
work.
jaw, so it's not working.
He leans his head way back to try to get it down his throat. It doesn't really work. But before the no-lower-jawed reanimated man bursts into the room.
Reanimated.
This whole hot babysitter thing with the two young boys feels very inappropriate.
It is, yeah.
One of the, she kind of wrestles with one of the boys, and, his head is between her knees.
Yes.
But then
Isn't he down there? He's down there between her legs when the dude comes in?
Yeah, and you can see up her skirt the whole time.
Yeah.
But then we find out later
she's doing
that
Daryl Hannah. She's doing a Daryl Hannah from Blade Runner. Yeah, that's what she's doing.
But then we realize that it's not just the babysitter, it's their siblings, which is very upsetting. I don't know. I'm all for incest, but
this went a little too far.
This went a little. They're a little young. He was a little young.
Yes.
A little too Florida school teacher.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Try your best not get your sister pregnant. Try your utmost best, please.
Well, the reanimated man took care of that for them.
Yeah, reanimate Ted, as I decided to call him.
Like Ted?
Yeah,
or
reanimate Ted.
Dead? No.
Reanimate Ted. Well, his name was Ted, and he was reanimate Ted.
His name was Ted?
No, I just made that up. I just thought it was funny. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you really pay attention to the credits? Ted. There's a joke there.
Reanimate Ted. Well, I don't know. I thought he's going to have a name. Well, everyone's going to have a name, probably. No, I like it when the cop comes in and he just shoots the milk bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The milk is making him insane.
Why were the cops even there? Were the cops following the situation? Because I assume outside you've got... And I don't know where...
this wasn't the first house that the reanimate Ted had broken into.
And where is Herbert West? I assumed he was...
Was he hiding in the bushes?
Yeah, was he just injecting people in the bushes?
I feel like he probably had his house was nearby.
Yeah.
That was probably the deal. They don't go into that.
He just never gives up.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be right after Bride of Re-Animator, I believe, because it says 13 years later, and the movie's made in 2003, so 1990 would make sense. That's
right.
When Bride of Re-Animator came out.
Okay.
Kind of get it. It's a bit of a stretch, but...
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that they're in this neighborhood, classic sleepover babysitter situation, and then this reanimated dude just rocks up and hitherto inspiring a young boy to become a doctor somehow. Even though it was his fault that his sister died.
Well, it's perfectly normal for a young boy to take a needle.
A random syringe that he finds in the ground.
Yes.
That the cops did not notice, by the way, as they're putting Herbert West in the back of a police car.
Yes.
He did
I thought it would have been a
properly frisked. Yes.
Decent amount of evidence. Yeah, no topper on it or anything,
No.
just an open needle.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this
Very
way.
sanitary.
When the cop walked in and he shot the milk bottle, I don't know if we're going to have much in the way of... he was just waiting to unload on. But, he probably didn't ask him the suitable questions, have you got any sharps on you? And he's like, I don't think so. And, just pulls out a needle and just gives it to a boy, as you do. In Scotland, that's not unheard of.
Wow. Yeah,
Is that rain?
That is rain.
Fuck. Yeah, I can hear it.
So this little incident in the beginning of the film, before even the title card comes up, is the impetus to put him in prison, in a death row prison, even though I don't know if he technically did any murdering So I don't know what his charges are.
Yeah.
For putting him on death row, because they never explained why. It just because of the things that he's done, because of his experiments.
It was probably the grave robbing, because he does mention that his previous assistant turned state's evidence against him.
Right.
Because that's what Bride was all about, wasn't it? Where he was like getting body parts.
Do you get put on death row for grave robbing?
Depends on how many
graves?
How many graves you rob.
I guess.
How many bodies you stole?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It sounds better in the movie if you're on death row. It means there's a time limit.
Because he's not even on just death row. This entire prison is built just for people that are on death row. So it's a prison for death row inmates, which doesn't exist.
No.
Except for in this film.
No.
So.
Well, it's built. The centerpiece of this prison is the electric chair.
That glorious electric chair.
Yes.
So this could either be set in Spain or in Florida.
Yes.
Or Texas, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But we had Old Sparky. Like, we had a cute name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, didn't Ted Bundy get put in Old Sparky?
Sure did.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at me.
Look at you.
Yeah.
This movie is very, very early 2000s. There's a lot of bleach blonde hair and a lot of highlights.
A lot of frosted fucking tips going on in this movie.
I think my dad was the last kind of vestige of this frosted tips thing. I think my dad was getting his hair highlighted into like 2018.
The thing is, I would have said...
Never give up.
That's good. Yeah.
There were so many blondes in this movie. It was like there was like a really strong like Aryanation like sect, but like the doctor and the journalist are also blonde as well. So
it was that scene where they had sex and you saw that dude's butt.
Yeah, he does that 2-pump jump thing.
Yeah, and he just rolls off. He's all sweaty.
Fucking hairy ass.
It
just,
was
like, pumps it.
Really bad.
It's not like, yeah, I mean, if you want to take bits and pieces out of it, yeah, that bit's not very good.
I think we both, while we were watching it earlier, went, ugh.
And that's like the only opportunity in that movie for any decent female nudity, and they really screwed the pooch on that too.
He did.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. It was a bad angle for her fake breasts, you know.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah, like, I'm not objectively opposed to that. It's just, but there's more flattering ways to show them.
Yeah, making it look like a squashed balloon.
Yeah, it was a very strange angle, very strange shadows. But you know,
I'm sure she's a lovely woman. She's very attractive.
Yeah,
it's just
She seems like she has a kind heart as a human being.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not.
But that angle.
I just don't. I blame Brian and whoever the cinematographer was. They did her dirty.
Because I didn't know what that was when I saw it at first. I go, what is that? I didn't realize it was a boob.
Yeah,
I thought it was like
an arm
or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a shame. It does not go down on the pantheon of good sex scenes in movies.
Especially because Barbara Crampton's nudity is so good. In
the
first.
Yeah.
Just legendary.
There are boobies in this movie, though. Like, they do tick that box, and they do a Castle Freak reference.
Yeah.
In the boobies that we do end up seeing, which is the assistant nurse, who he just screams at constantly.
Yeah, he's always yelling at her.
Yeah, and wherever that bald dude's guy is called.
Because he was the first person experimented on in the prison, right? That very tall, bald guy.
He had a heart attack. He's also he's sharing a cell with the Danny Trejo pretender. Who's obviously not Latin American, because there are certain things that he says as he's meant to have an accent, like he's kind of like the white man's Danny Trejo. Yeah. The way he says certain things a certain way.
Pendejo.
Essay. Like the...
Come on over here, essay.
Yeah, it was kind of pulled you out a little bit.
I liked that guy, because that guy has the coolest thing later in the movie where I know I'm jumping around, but where his whole bottom half is cut off.
It's okay to jump around.
And he's flying around.
Because the thing is, every time we bring up a scene, we'll be like, oh, we don't really like that, but then it relates to something that ends up being better later on. Because I think you, Josh, said something. You said you only really stay for the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes.
Those are the high points for me in the movie.
I agree.
I mean, there's some funny bits in the middle, but really, because the star of this movie really is Screaming Mad George.
Yeah.
The visual effects artist who worked on Society and a lot of Yuzna's work. So I think that's really where he shines, or in those moments.
I think the star of this film is Ratty, the rat.
The little rat, yeah. The rat that magically changes color from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, and I really liked his performance.
It starts off grey, then turns black, and then just stays black.
I think rats, everyone, if they have kids, should have rats as pets instead of, hamsters and gerbils and stuff.
Okay.
I'm just saying that because I used to have rats, and they're really nice pets.
Yeah, they're hyper intelligent.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
That was a weird thing. Anyway.
I'll tell you a fun story about euthanizing a rat after we're done recording.
No,
this.
don't. We've heard that story before.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good story. You're the one that keeps bringing rats up around me, and I have one really good rat story.
I know, but you told us it before. We just heard it. It was
very
like...
sad.
God, it's like...
Okay, anyway, with the rats. We're going to talk way more about that rat anyway, because he is the star of our penis scene later on.
That's true, yeah.
So
it's quite sad when you're outplayed by a rat, like,
So good.
through the course of the movie.
There was this part that I was just thinking about where the new Dr. Howard comes into the prison because he's doing his... what's it called when you're a new doctor?
Residency. Yeah.
At the prison, which is very fun. And then you have the reporter, which is Laura.
At the prison, which is very fun. Okay.
A very fun place to do your residency with the weird warden who is...
Surrounded by death row inmates.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
I still think he was planning to work there specifically because of Herbert, right?
Yeah, that was
his MO.
Yeah.
To meet his hero.
His main source of inspiration.
Yeah.
Was to become a doctor so that he could then become a scientist.
I feel like there's probably easier ways to meet Herbert West.
Probably, yes.
Even in an all death row inmate prison.
Yes.
I'm sure there's still allowed visitors occasionally.
I mean, you
Just
could
write him a letter.
You could write him a letter. You could do what many others have done. Weren't specifically in the FBI, but you'd be like, I'm writing a book. I want to go talk to this.
And he's been on death row for 13 years?
Yeah.
I mean, that
Seems
happens.
like a long time.
I mean, that happens.
That happens. I think that's actually the most realistic part of this movie.
Yeah, I would agree. That does happen.
Do you remember in that film we watched recently, Law Abiding Citizen, with Gerard Butler?
Fuck yeah.
Love
And
that
Jamie
movie.
Foxx, where
Great film. Art.
They have the trial, and within 24 hours, he's getting lethally injected.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Hey, look, they didn't mess around in that film.
Yeah,
as we know.
fast-tracked.
Yeah,
I mean...
just get it done.
You get fast-tracked to death row in Philly.
Is that an F. Gary Gray movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
fuck
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's I remember I saw it that opening weekend. I went to go see it with my friend, and we were the only two people in the cinema. And I was like, I think Laura will quite enjoy this. And then obviously, like, the start happens, and I'm like, all right, there's a lot of fucked up stuff in this film.
You know that as soon as a rape happens, I'm out. Like, I check out. I can't. But I held on for some reason.
Well, it's not to say that
it's
I'm
exactly the kind of movie I like.
Yeah, well, I'm not
other than the rape.
I'm not encouraging it within the context of the film, but I mean, it's there.
You gotta make a villain.
Yeah, you gotta make a villain.
There's no better way than to immediatly rape someone's wife in the beginning of a film.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty
Got a
much.
classic
I
villain.
mean,
There's really no gray area there, I suppose.
Nope.
No.
100%.
I mean, we
willing.
didn't really hear it from his side, though.
Yeah, you didn't get to see the whole trial.
Right.
No,
So you don't know.
You didn't.
No, because they didn't do a trial. They did a plea deal. Yeah. Why are we talking about this?
Never.
We're talking about
That movie, that movie's real good. That movie's real good.
Yeah, that movie is pretty good.
Yeah, it's real silly.
Okay. I was talking about when they're in the prison, and
Yes.
it's his first day, and he has his little doctor's bag, and Laura, the reporter, says, "Do all doctors have such a personal relationship with their tools?"
Right.
No, is that not funny?
I mean, well, yeah.
Laugh.
I mean, it's not funny,
Laugh.
but it's funny that that's something they thought was funny.
Yeah.
Like is that a double entendre?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of is. I like though that like immediately after she says something to the effect of everything you say to me is going to be willfully taken out of context or something like that.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
says, "Well, in that case, hi." Like she introduced herself by saying, "Hello, I'm shitty at my job."
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know it. I don't deserve to be here. Like
Well, she's full of innuendos as it comes to it. Like she forces himself, like they have dinner. And
oh
stuff.
yeah,
and
go
she,
the whole go for it thing when they like should I it's really icky.
And they didn't eat any of the crusts on those pizzas. There was
Yeah.
just crusts everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, they had straight blonde hair. That's why they weren't eating their crusts.
Is that what happens?
They didn't have any ranch.
As far as I'm aware,
Oh, yeah.
ranch. Only
So
the
that's why
worst
you know it was-
fucking dipping sauce that's ever been known to man.
I mean,
Fucking
I'll eat some
ranch.
pizza crust with ranch if I need to, if there's no blue cheese around. But
Well, I mean,
I like the marinara.
yeah, blue cheese isn't too bad. I'd rather have blue cheese than ranch.
Garlic.
Marinara.
Garlic sauce.
Okay, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Papa
I
John's.
remember being told you won't if you eat your crust, you'll get curly hair. That's what I
told
was
you
told.
that.
Members of my family.
Are all your members of your family liars?
I didn't get curly hair, but no, I mean it's not true. It's not
If
true.
you eat your
That is one of the
crusts-
weirdest old wives' tales I've ever heard. I've
If
never
you eat your
heard this.
crusts, probably not your pizza crust, probably like your sandwich crusts.
Did
like
you want curly hair?
No, but it was just a thing. It's like an old wife's thing. It's like an old wife's fable. Old wife.
Right. Don't go
What's
swimming.
that? If you eat and you get a stitch.
Yeah. So you don't go
I
swimming
mean that
after
does.
you eat.
I mean, well, no, I was told that. Yeah, that does happen. You can get a stitch.
Don't eat chocolate before bed. You'll get nightmares.
Yeah. Same with cheese. Cheese is another one. Cheese makes your brain a little bit more active, so you may end up getting
It makes my
nightmares.
brain more active.
Yeah. Good old cheese.
I love cheese.
Thing is, here's the thing.
think I'm hungry.
Well, it's down to the fact that like parents will tell their kids anything just to shut them the fuck up.
But that doesn't make any sense. What does crust and bread have to do with curly hair? And would you want curly hair? Would you not want curly hair?
It's just like young mysticism. Like, here's some bullshit that an adult told me, and then you take it into your adult life yourself, and then look how I've turned out. I'm an Imaginarium.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a man of stories of all sorts of fucking horrible things. Right, let's carry on.
The next thing I have on my list is actually about the warden trying to get Laura, the reporter, to give him a blowy.
Yeah, he does that at least a couple of times,
Does
though.
it a couple of times.
And he's successful the second time.
Is he?
I mean, he gets halfway through the blowy.
It does go in her mouth.
Yeah, it does go in her mouth.
That some would call that a success.
And it leaves her mouth in a different way.
Success in my book.
Well, I mean that was the first time. This was the less lethal time. So
The less lethal time.
of the blowjob situation.
Yeah. Where were we?
You have any Ambien?
So but I do have a question for you guys to help me perhaps understand these nanoplasms that I believe are a new thing in the Re-Animator universe.
Right.
Yes, they are new.
The midi-chlorians of the
Well, it
Re-Animator
wasn't-
universe.
Yeah, they come into this movie and they're not really explored because there's not really a sequel to this movie.
No, but it's electricity and it's your soul, maybe your electric soul.
I would say it's the soul.
Your electric boogaloo that comes out when you get electrocuted, and then you can put it in a little jar like fireflies,
Yes.
and it does something to maybe counteract the Re-Animator juice to make you less of a mad zombie.
Well, I think that's
At least that was
well, I
the
think
hope.
that's the point though of the zombies though, is they have no soul. They're kind of automatons when they're reanimated
So you need the nano electricity juice.
to put the personality back into them. Yes,
But it also functions like DNA, where it really should not be cross-species, but it is in this movie.
Yes.
for
Of course it is.
to hilarious effect.
Yeah.
What happens? Yeah.
I liked that a lot.
So what was the question about the nanoplasm?
I actually was going to ask you to explain it to me, and then I kept
you just kind of
talking.
explained it.
I
You
think
worked it out for yourself?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I got there.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
did-
cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first time I saw it, I didn't really pay much attention, so I was kind of
No.
like, why has the warden got buck teeth this time? It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
he has like Evil Dead face, you know, when you get possessed in Evil Dead and your face is all fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like, but then he turns more and more into a rat. And then
Yeah.
you were the one, Ryan, who was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Well, I had
Light
a-
bulb went off.
Yeah, well, I had a revelatory moment, which is like what happens when I do pay attention to things. Like with shame, like I have a revelatory moment where I was just like, if I actually pay attention to it, then I'm like, I understand it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I actually turn my brain on.
If only you had seen Beyond Re-Animator in the theater for the first time.
I think it would have been
Actually,
yeah.
that would have been incredible. And if that ever happens.
It was direct to video, I think. I think it may have played some film festivals, but I
Yeah.
don't think I think it was direct to video.
Well, if anyone can put it on a big screen, it is you.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Is it
I have it on Blu-ray.
is it shot? Is it in 4:3 or is it?
No, it is 16:9.
Yeah, because the version we saw, it was on Tubi. It's only in 4:3.
Yeah, that
so
was
it's
the-
actually 16 now.
I bought the DVD when it first came out in 2003 or 4.
Okay.
And that was 4:3.
Oh.
And for some
Right.
reason I lost it in a move or something like that, and it was out of print for a very long time and actually kind of expensive, and I didn't like the movie enough to spend $40 on a 4:3 DVD.
Yes.
Oh, God.
But
no.
then they finally did a proper Blu-ray release of it, and last year I purchased it for still too much money, but it was like it completed the collection.
Yeah.
It was like $23 or something.
Okay.
Like,
Ooh,
it
I was hoping it wouldn't go over 20.
it was a little
Yeah.
more than acceptable, but it wasn't. I bought the out of print Bride of Re-Animator Blu-ray though, and I spent some money on that because I'm an asshole.
Ah!
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I spent like $50 on that fucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we give ourselves a rule that we sometimes wouldn't go over the $20 for a movie that we absolutely adore. Like that just doesn't really happen in this household.
There's a few movies that have been sitting in my shopping cart for a long, long time because they're $20 and
Yeah.
I know that
They're
they
gonna-
shouldn't be.
But I
even
mean,
though-
I've bought like collections and stuff like that Shinya Tsukamoto collection I bought for because it was like a third of the price that it should be, and then obviously other collections that are only kind of really appropriate to me that I was like, well, it was 100, now it's only 50, and it's like, oh god, it's still 50.
I'm dancing around that right now. There's a Herschel Gordon Lewis box set that Arrow put out that is down to
Oh, dear.
$50. Yep,
Yeah.
14 movies,
Oh,
all
boy.
on Blu-ray.
That's slightly different, yeah.
I'm thinking I'm thinking of pulling the trigger on it, but I also do I need and not even the good ones like Blood Feast, like some of the more some of his shitty movies, but which there are many. Mr. Lewis made some garbage, but
I mean, I would say you're dividing that 14 into 50. I think it's a little bit more digestible.
I think so
think it's
too.
okay.
You
Yeah.
sold me.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, where's my phone?
I mean, we do the same thing every time that Criterion sale goes
Yeah.
up or whatever. You go, all right.
Yeah, it's not 40.
And I
it's
mean,
20.
I did just spend $150 on Bergman, so my art house
right.
fucking points are. I think that I can
Yeah.
level it out with some Herschel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still, doesn't justify the $50 or whatever that I spent on Bride of Re-Animator.
Yeah, because then you're going to look eventually. It'll be, 5. Yeah. Sometime. But
It's the limited edition steelbook. It's an investment or some bullshit. Whatever I have to tell myself.
Well, it'll just be one of those things that they're just like, well, who's this going to go to when they're like emptying out your house after you've passed away?
Oh, I can't wait for that to happen. I can't wait to die. So I like the idea of like somebody coming in and like going through my collections. Like, the fuck is going on here? Why does he have Dave on DVD, but also like, yeah, just the absurdity of that roller coaster of actually looking through every individual title.
So
like,
much
man.
pornography.
But it's not normal pornography. Like, it's
Weird
like
pornography.
really great restorations of 80s Japanese softcore pornography. Like, there's like 12 of them. It's a set. Who is this for? And I won't be there to tell them.
Yeah, no, it'll be up to them to find out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, we already brought up, before we get into the penis scene,
Right.
we already brought up the Castle Freak nipple bite thing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't go as far as Castle Freak,
No.
which I wish we could do, but we can't.
No. Well,
Because
that
for a
could
very
be
obvious reason
yeah,
that we can't do Castle Freak.
Yeah, it's a kind
anyone
of
that's
it's
seen
a bit
it.
spoilery.
You know what I'm talking about.
What happens there?
Oh, yeah,
Because he's
right.
a Castle Freak.
Sure, yeah,
There
I
is
forgot.
no nudity for a man.
Yeah, well,
I think you could get away with that one. It technically fits. There's pubis.
No phallus.
No.
Yeah.
I love
Laura's
Castle
Wow,
Freak.
you're you got
Laura's
really strict
really yeah.
I am
Laura's
criteria
really
here.
strict about it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm the boss.
Yeah. Well, whatever you say, dear.
Thank you.
So.
So we have this penis scene, which is it's not a scene, it's almost more like the whole end of the film into the credits as well, which is pretty fantastic.
It kind of turns into a running joke, and then you see the conclusion of that running joke in the credit sequence.
So it kind of starts off at about an hour, 19 minutes and 52 seconds, and then there's little bits that go, I mean, I wrote them all down. You don't need to, you can go to the website if you want to find every specific time, weirdos. But, so this kind of starts...
Dear listeners.
Are they the weirdos? You're the one that wrote down the fucking time code.
Yeah.
For how many times
If
you see a severed penis in Beyond RE-ANIMATOR.
You're also the weirdo who also has the website with all that stuff on it. I'm just here contributing jokes and cinematic...
I'm the weirdo that's been doing this for over 15 years.
Tidbits. Yeah, see?
No, it is weird.
Yeah,
if
see?
you knew how much
Let's
time
put the
I
mirror
spent
in front of you,
If you knew
for a change.
the things that Ryan's walked in on, where I've got the computer going, there's a dick on there.
It's like a dick
I got
on
the
the TV,
and
dick
it's
on the fucking
paused, and I'm
computer.
typing furiously.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? It is 8 in the
Everyone's-
morning.
yeah, and
It's
you're-
academic. It's not sexual, I swear.
Why are you sweating so much?
Old roommates that have walked in on me with Nymphomaniac just paused, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm busy. This is work." You're right, sweaty.
It is a bit sweaty, yeah.
It's just
Well, come in and you're like this, like cupping at your shirt and stuff.
yeah,
and
trying
you're
to get
like,
that breeze.
it's like, Ryan, you wouldn't guess what? And I'm like, I'd rather not.
I've got
Definitely.
crazy eyes. I'm like, there's a dick in King of
Going
the
back,
Ants.
I'm going back to bed.
Like,
King
who
of the
cares?
Ants. Yeah.
I believe you.
I'll rewind it if you want. No, dear. Please stop.
Not interested.
I need to sleep.
Yeah.
There is one in King of the Ants.
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
Huh.
there is. We're going to do that one eventually.
We thought about doing it during this run,
It's been,
obviously, but
this Halloween season has been a mixed bag of like which one. We had like several different films and ideas that we were going to try and do for October.
we really
settled on
skipped
the-
over some good ones to
We've-
do these movies.
I mean, well, the
well,
thing,
we've got one. I don't know. These two are good.
well, this is the October twofer, and I think obviously Re-Animator. We already covered that one, but yeah, no, we needed to do this one. I think we really needed to do it. They're good.
Certainly
as a
nobody
pairing.
else is doing a podcast episode on Beyond RE-ANIMATOR at this point in
No,
2022.
No,
no. Good for
no,
us.
they're not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good for us doing our fucking due diligence, bringing this film into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's fine.
So we're in this section.
Good.
We talk about the penis scene. I'm gonna do it. So we've got these nanoplasms, right? And so we've got these two characters that have been reanimated. We've got the warden and we have Laura the reporter. And the warden has been injected with the rat nanoplasms, and then we have Laura, who's been injected with the warden's nanoplasms.
Yeah.
This is a lot. Like, you need to explain a lot in order for any of this to make sense. Can we maybe
explained the
truncate it a little bit?
nanoplasms.
Well, you did, but at the same time, I'm kind of
So
like,
there's
how do we just get
experiments.
to the bit where there's obviously just a prison riot, people are getting killed and also injected at the same time? So there's a whole bunch of men like hanging off the ceilings, but they're also still alive.
It's total
so,
chaos.
like, wriggling around.
Well, how do I explain this? How?
I think
Y'all need to watch this movie. I don't have time for this.
there's been a lot of killing. There's been a lot of reanimating, and some are doing more reanimating than they should do. So they're too reanimated.
Yeah, they're because you shouldn't reanimate when you're already animated.
Yes.
And that will cause problems. But what had happened just before is that the bald prison inmate who had done the castle freak, he somehow was able to attack a guard. Then the other Danny Trejo-esque prisoner got the keys, and so then there was a prison break. So
Yes.
all the prisoners are...
And we haven't even discussed
Out.
Speedball yet.
Which one's that?
The Tommy Chong ripoff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Well, I don't know. It all kind of
It's
goes...
fine. He was not a responsible drug user. That's really all you need to say about that guy.
Yeah.
Was he the one that animated himself? When
Yeah,
they-
and
Yeah,
then
that's the same guy.
That's
yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like has like his flesh is dripping off his face at the end, and he's still like, hey man, you got any of those red pills? Like he's still like trying to get Vicodin. Yeah,
Okay, well,
this movie is chaos. It's
Yeah.
really actually very
Yeah.
difficult to explain if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. I don't think we need to explain every single little thing, but
well,
there's a lot of personality swapping. There's interspecies swapping. There's more reanimating than you would expect. It all kind of goes
yeah,
a little
everyone's
bit
just shooting
into
up
bedlam.
the juice. And
Like the embodied parts are still reanimated, which was a thing in all of them, but
Yes.
the eye like still blinking or dilating, even though it popped out of someone's head.
Right.
Yes.
Which of course leads into the penis. Which the penis is doing things that mine can't. Maybe mine is broken, but
maybe if
little
it was
inchworm
detached
style.
from your body, it would have more freedom of movement.
Well, I find it
it's not going to grow a knuckle.
no, and it's also yeah, it's also like because once it's detached, there's no banjo string. There's nothing stopping it from being anything. It's not going to be buoyant.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's not going to be bouncing.
like this one.
Yeah. Well, either way, the Laura, the now reanimated with the soul of the warden, is giving a blowjob to the warden, who's now acting like a rat with buck teeth and shit.
Yeah, so he's all transforming because
If that
he
makes
has
any
the
sense.
nanos juice of a rat.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing some weird ass shit. Because that's
Well, you
how
know
he
what?
likes to play his games.
Yeah, Herbert West is
likes
doing
to
his-
play,
Yeah.
and he never gives up.
He likes to fuck around and experiment because he's a mad scientist.
Yes, he is. He's a mad scientist.
Yes.
So you've got all these swaps happening, like you said, and as we'd mentioned earlier in the movie, the warden tries to get her to give him a blowy, and it doesn't work.
No.
And so
Gets her to like bark like a dog and all this sort of
right,
stuff.
I forgot I wrote
Yeah,
that
that's
down.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Because he lost his fucking ear. His ear gets fucking chewed off.
my
And they're in
God.
this cell.
Too much happening.
There's a lot of stuff that happens, yeah.
Well, she goes downtown. His rat face gets all super excited. And then he does that gross thing with his face. He's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Uh-huh.
She bites his dick off.
Yeah,
That's what
she
happens.
does. She does. She just spits it out. And then almost immediately, Ratty comes in and grabs the dick.
The little ratty comes
Yeah.
in and rolls it. He rolls it away. He's like
Yeah.
a little stop motion rat. It's so
It's
cute.
like the sexy version of the Green Mile. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god. I've always wondered what that movie was missing. Now I know. Huh. That could have been Tom Hanks's dick. Severed dick.
Oh,
Yeah, or, I mean, who's the
Who's the
guy who's in the...
Oh, from Starship Troopers, right? He was the...
Well, I was thinking the other prisoner.
Oh.
Because there's Sam Rockwell, and
Rockwell.
then there's... Because the little mouse is like French, so it keeps on...
Right. I was thinking of who's a bad character in that movie, who's a villain.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam
Yeah, I guess
Rockwell's
Sam
the
Rockwell.
villain.
Yeah.
Well, he's really the only villain, really. Sam Rockwell.
Well, he takes-
Everybody's
they
very
would've-
nice. Everyone's very, yeah, everyone's kind of just like, we have fun on death
I
row.
100% am conflating characters from that and Shawshank. That's
Oh.
absolutely what's happening right
Okay.
now.
Whoa.
I don't like either movie very much. So,
Oh, I know
sorry.
exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, the other prison guard from Shawshank. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Never
fine.
mind.
Well, I was
Yeah.
going to just say that if they'd asked Sam Rockwell, it was about the time in his career when he would have taken the
That's
stick out.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We went into a Darabont void there.
It's okay. You guys are going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So this rat and this penis
Yes.
basically become best friends throughout the whole end of this movie.
Yes.
He's rolling him around.
Mm-hmm.
The penis is crawling around.
Yes.
And it's really the credits, which I had totally forgotten.
Yeah, I definitely missed it when we watched it last time.
Well, even when the warden ends up in the electric chair, because it's bound to happen, and
Sure.
he gets fried.
Yeah.
There's that subliminal shot of the rat with the dick
Yeah.
just before he gets shocked as well, which always, I thought was kind of, I don't know if that works personally, but anyway.
Of course it does. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Just rolling it around.
I
Playing
mean,
with
I
it.
should have understood that obviously that was meant to be. That was because you were rolling on the floor laughing when that happened.
See? Comedy. Horror comedy.
It's because you fucking love capital punishment. That's what your issue is.
Yes, I'm really strongly in favor of that. So
It's the only
I mean,
solution.
it's a great deterrent.
that's what I
Yeah.
I really connected.
It works. I mean, you can't argue the numbers.
Nope.
Murder
It just-
is way down.
And it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I mean...
justice is done. There's
Yeah.
no innocent people on death row.
Closure. That's how you close cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get those numbers
Put
up.
them in a chair, inject them with something, gas them.
Yeah.
Done. Case closed.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
The very end, yeah, the after credits is that whole, it's like a boxing match for some reason.
See, I feel like it's a dance party.
You think it's a dance party?
Yeah, I think that it's a silhouette of the rat and the penis.
Just having a little dance.
Yeah, dancing.
Just having fun.
Maybe they're fighting, but I don't think so. I think that Ratty and
A little bit of both?
yeah, I mean, you know, it's like
Love,
it's
hate.
like it's like sex.
Like a little...
Little bit of give, little bit of take,
Yeah,
That's romance.
little bit of fist. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if
As
Devon Sawa was there,
right.
As well.
Okay.
I-
All roads lead back to Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa, yeah.
and fisting him.
And
Yeah,
fisting.
fisting and like hands being removed and stuff like that. Like, yes, yeah,
Okay.
it's all incongruous to exactly everything that we're talking about right now. I mean, I do have I like that bit where Laura's hand goes all wibbly wobbly because she's like fighting the soul of the warden that's inside of her,
Oh, yeah.
and that's enough to make her hand like become very flexible. Which
Yeah,
is
it does
weird.
all that weird stuff.
Yeah, but there is like when the poor man's Danny Trejo is like literally just like torso up,
Yes!
like doing stuff. I think that shit's cool.
I loved that. I loved him flying through the air. He was great. That whole scene was very funny to me.
Yes.
I mean, it's all that chaos at the end of the movie because you have the guy who extra reanimates himself, the guy who was the Tommy Chong, and then
He gets too reanimated. Yeah.
and then he explodes, and his guts fly everywhere.
Yeah,
He does. He gets a little bit
So
bursty. Yeah, he bursts all over the place.
it's weird. I did notice watching it this time around that it has a made-for-sci-fi channel feel to it way more than
Yes.
the previous
Yeah.
films. And I think it's just, watching it this time around, it's just like, it's very evenly lit. It's
Yeah.
weird. You know, there are scenes, that, especially during the prison riot, that it's a little more interesting. But it's, yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that feels a little Asylum or whatever. You know, the company that makes all those movies.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It does. Yeah, it does have a very kind of low low budget feel.
It feels a little
to it.
thrown together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not quite sure why that is. I feel like maybe funding just came through, but why wasn't he sitting on a script for 13 years? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like if it was
Yeah.
a passion project, then because they had another script that they wanted to lead into, where it was going to be Herbert and then Bruce Abbott. Is that his last name?
Oh, yeah.
From the first two, that they're back together. And
Okay.
they reanimate the President of the United States, played by William H. Macy.
Oh, man.
And that never came to fruition. They lost
Okay.
funding. It
So
kind of went on the
good.
back burner, and then of course Gordon died, and it was going to be a Stuart Gordon was spearheading this.
All right.
That's
okay.
beautiful.
So, but it just
Yeah.
never happened because it was during the Bush years. So he wanted to make like a because Stuart Gordon was much more into making political satire. He was a hardline liberal, and so
Yeah.
he wanted to make fun of George W. Bush in 2004.
Well, that's fun.
Didn't
So-
everybody?
Yeah.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, no, I think there's something about this third one, but then it's kind of like if you think about the pantheon of horror sequels, the third one does sometimes end up in a prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Alien 3, Human Centipede 3, they end up in a prison.
Yeah, this
You know what
actually
I mean?
it actually has a lot in common with Human Centipede 3 in the way that it feels.
Yeah.
Like it's much jokier for an already jokey franchise. Slapsticky, maybe.
Yeah.
Like there's some, the first Re-Animator is silly, but I wouldn't say it's slapstick. This
No.
is goddamn goofy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, which
Yeah.
Huh.
It's really silly. That kind of came to mind. It's like there's always a prison. Once movies go on once a franchise goes on long enough, they always end up in a prison at some point.
Is there Jason Goes to Prison? Freddy Goes to Prison?
Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell. There is in Jason X, he is kind of imprisoned. They freeze him because
Yeah.
they do find
Yeah.
him. They imprison him and try to kill him multiple times, and
Yeah.
and they can't, so they just end up freezing him. There is no leprechaun in prison though. That would be good.
Yeah.
Is there a Hellraiser in prison? I just
don't
watched those. I don't
know.
think so.
Stepfather in
No.
prison?
Well, he
I didn't even
deserves
know
to
there
be
was
in
Stepfather
prison.
3 until
What?
a few weeks ago.
Stepfather 3 is so good
I've only
because
seen the
they
first two.
cut his face off, like a face off, and give him a new face, and then he can be a brand new actor. Oh, God, it's so good. You
Yeah.
know I love Stepfather.
I need to watch it. I just learned about it. I don't know how I've gone my whole life not knowing about this.
Oh, Stepfather franchise is a top-tier franchise.
I've also never seen the remake.
It's fine.
It's not very good.
Well, Stepfather,
Yeah.
the original, has
It stays in line with the
Terry
rest of the
O'Quinn
Stepfather
totally
movies.
naked.
Yeah.
That first step. Oh, I can't wait to do that movie, you guys. Whew.
Yes,
Love
I
Stepfather.
can't wait either. It's going to be amazing.
Love Stepfather.
Fucking hate Stepfather.
I don't understand why you could.
I like it a lot.
Who am I here?
I'm not as big of a fan as the second as you are, but I do like the second.
Is it Father's Day?
It's fine.
Daddy's coming home or something?
We're all friends here. Daddy's
good.
home. Yeah.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I have written down is, did you know that Jeffrey Combs is 5'7"?
That seems right.
Yeah,
Yeah, seems correct.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thought I'd throw that out there.
He's not short. He's average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little short, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's shorter than me.
Yeah, whenever you see pictures of him and Barbara Crampton together, like, oh yeah, he's lady tall.
He's at average height for an American woman.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
What was the
that's-
average height for an American man? So like 5'10"?
I think it's 5'10".
Yeah.
So I am going to ask you both for your ratings, and let's start off. We'll start off with our guest Josh, and we'll do your ratings from 0 to 5 for the penis scene for full frontal male nudity. Obviously, 5 is top tier full frontal male nudity in terms of visibility and context. So, what say you?
Am I allowed half stars?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, the penis itself, I give 4 out of 5 because I think it's very funny, and especially knowing that there's the ratty dance off at the
Yes.
end. That's where I'm gonna, I give it a 4 out of 5.
But then why did you want to know if half stars were...
Well, because I know it's what's coming.
Okay.
I'm just trying to establish the rules.
Okay, you're allowed half stars.
You're allowed half. You could say 3.1. I don't care.
We're already restricting ourselves to the 5 star thing.
I'm going to make it a 10-point scale whether you like it or not. I know how fractions work.
Okay, Ryan.
For the dig scene?
Yes.
It's like maybe 3 stars or something. There's a bigger thing about it where it's not real.
That is true.
It's definitely not real. But obviously within the context of it, it can't be real. Because then it does become an animatronic, a stop frame monstrosity, like in the end credit sequence as well, when it obviously starts dancing. But for the nature of what this is and for what we're covering and for the... within the tone of the RE-ANIMATOR movies in general, I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, this is our first...
I like a sequence where someone bites into something, be it an ear, a nose, a fucking finger. In this case, it's a deck, and they just fucking fling it out of their mouth and they spit it out. I like that. I like that in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like the violence of
I like the
bite
visceral
and toss.
nature of that violent depiction of just taking something from somebody else and fucking spitting it out.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, this is our first detached penis.
Yeah.
In a film. Because we've had fakes. We've had fakes, but we haven't had a... What's the word? What's the word for that?
Prosthetics?
No, not prosthetics.
Severed?
Severed. I'm thinking of something else, but...
Disembodied.
Perhaps.
Removed.
Okay. More synonyms?
I mean, I don't know. You're looking at me like
Disembodied?
I haven't... So,
maybe that's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Penis.
say it's severed off. I mean,
Severed
I'd say it's more
penis.
severed, yeah.
Our first severed penis.
Yeah, disembodied makes it sound like it's like a baby born and oh wait, there's more. Like, that it never was attached in the first place. I don't know.
Well, disembodied also kind of works because it has a mind of its own.
That's true. Okay.
So, it probably isn't our last.
The thing is, the warden's just now walking around with just a pair of nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that would be an issue bleeding. Like, there's a lot of shit going on down there that you probably would not be able to stand after a very short amount of time of getting your dick bit off.
But he is reanimated, so what works... I mean, do you still bleed a ton? You know? Because you're kind of a
is his
zombie.
Heart pumping? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Is that something the journalist chick asks the bald guy, let me take your pulse? When he, as if that's going to be the indicator that he's... Like, it's very weird to me that he wouldn't have a pulse. Like, he's still got to move. I don't know, but...
I think from my understanding of the first movie is that because of the way it animates the bodies, it's making their internal organs work much faster than they're probably meant to. That's why they act all erratically.
Interesting.
Which is my understanding of what it is.
Right.
And also Herbert West, he says it in the third movie as well. He kind of says, he's like, well, no, his heart was beating too fast. That's why he went all fucking crazy. Which makes,
I thought that was
sense.
just a cover.
Probably either way.
Because the warden wanted to know what was going on, and he didn't want to show his cards.
Yeah, probably.
And he's smarter than the resident, the student getting a residency.
I mean, I'll also point out, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't think that they are either. To be honest,
no.
I don't think that this. I think that we've just put in 4 times more thought than they ever did.
I think if you begin to over-explain it, it kind of kills the mysticism of it a little bit.
The mysticism.
You know.
Okay, 3.5 for that disembodied penis.
Okay, from me or from you?
That was mine.
Oh, okay, good.
3.5.
All right.
So let's wrap this up and give our ratings for the film. Josh?
3.5.
Okay.
I think that the original is a solid 5-star movie.
Yes.
And this is fun, but it's 70%. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fine. I'm glad that it exists. I throw it on occasionally, but I don't think I'd ever put it on without watching the first 2 in the same day.
Right.
Like, it would be waking up in the morning being, I'm going to watch RE-ANIMATOR all day. That's how how that would go.
Bride is pretty good.
Bride is good. It's yeah. Bride is like a 4.25 for me.
Okay.
Which I hate quarter stars. That just muddies the waters. But it's a strong 4. But
on a 10-star scale, it would be 7.
The Beyond
Bride
for you, it would be, or for me?
I was thinking for you. I'm like,
No,
what's
no,
a
no.
4.25?
4.25 would be 8.5.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, but Re-Animator's 100.
Yes.
Is it
100
10?
out of 10.
That's
right.
Yeah.
It's a perfect fucking movie. It's in my top 4 on Letterboxd favorites.
Well,
let me just say.
Yeah.
So it has been.
Yeah.
Like I don't move that shit around.
I agree with
Yeah.
Re-Animator. Re-Animator is a 5-star movie. That movie is a lot of fun from start to
Well,
finish.
we already talked about it. So, where
All right,
are
sorry.
you, Ryan?
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of agree with Josh. I gave it 3. It's just there's too much
You said
fluff.
3.5.
What's that? Well, he said 3.5, but I gave it 3. I'm kind of halfway there.
No, I'm saying that Josh just now said 3.5.
Yeah, I know, but I agree with him.
You still agree in
it's,
that-
yeah.
okay.
I've seen
assessment.
fucking worse than this. At least this movie's fun in parts. It's just there's some fluff in it. It's just kind of
It's never super boring.
No.
There's no boring parts to it.
no. It's just I just didn't.
Maybe when they don't eat their pizza crust, that whole scene's a little boring. But that's about it.
I don't need
Yeah.
to see these two talk. They have no chemistry.
No, and the two
Yeah.
pump chump bullshit, like all that sort of stuff.
I don't know if
I can
it-
relate to that.
Yeah.
I just assumed we walked in on the
Oh
climax.
my god, I love you so much.
Wow. I was just looking at what I had rated it initially on Letterboxd, and I gave it a 2.5.
Oh, that's not fair.
Which, no, I'm rethinking it now because I was watching it specifically to make sure there was a penis in it the first time, so I wasn't
Yeah.
fully engaged. This time, I'm going to give it 3. I still like it. It's better than right down the middle, and
I'd say it's better than down the middle.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I see now that's kind of throwaway, let's say, made for TV, made for streaming stuff that is far worse than
Yeah.
than
I
this
think
movie.
when I give something anything under 3, I don't want to watch it again.
Same.
But if I give it a 3 or higher, I'll definitely, I'll be okay with watching it again. So this one, obviously I've seen it twice now, would watch again in the same sort of way where you're doing a little marathon. So
Yeah, it'd be real weird to wake up one morning like, today's the day. I'm gonna watch them Beyond Re-Animator.
And
Like
that's
it's
it.
happening.
that's
Like,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, gosh.
Mhm.
Is that it? Is this it for Spooky Penis Month?
It is for this year.
That's so sad.
Is it really?
I love Spooky Penis Month.
Yeah. I guess
I
so.
love Halloween. Halloweeners, it's all over. For now.
Yeah.
It's the only joy I get in this life.
I know.
And then you die.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for all of the joy and the severed penises and the exploding bodies and the
Reanimations.
and
Yeah.
you know, it's been fun. Spooky Penis Month is
Thanks for having me again.
yeah, thanks for being here.
No problem.
Thanks for joining us, and guys, you have to remember to trust your instincts and really go for it. Okay? You gotta remember that as we go forward and to the end of the year. Coming to you from Arkham State Penitentiary, I have been Laura.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's
Arkham?
called Arkham.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm Ryan.
I'm Josh.
Wow. Thanks, guys. We will
Yeah.
see you next time. I think, and let me just throw in there, go on our social media because this is on Instagram or Twitter or whatever the hell, because that's where we put up the movies that we're going to be watching.
Yeah,
And you
probably.
can go on there and find our letterbox and follow all the weird shit we watch.
Yeah, we'll
when
find
we're not watching
something.
dick
We'll
movies.
find something suitable for Thanksgiving. Maybe some appropriation.
You want to do that so bad.
Big time, yeah. I really
Okay.
want to do that movie because it looks so fucked up.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will find out if
it
you
does look
follow us on
fucked
the
up,
internet, and then
yeah.
if not, you'll find out what the movie is when it comes out.
Yay!
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.